They didn't suddenly find out all the proof and then they take it off and immediately. It takes months and months and months. And who suffers? You do. So if you have great credit in place right now, just stop doing credit cards, dump that, have some courage, go cash and carry, and stop participating in that because you're going to lose. Eventually, you're going to lose. Whether if you have perfect credit and you use your cards, you could have identity theft issue, and that's a complete total mess. It could put you in a complete total mess. So that's why I emphasize with people over the phone that you really need to change, make a radical shift in your value system and what you think is important in terms of your future financially. It's the key to this entire thing is all of you going through this transcendence and internal change, because this entire program is not a financial one, because I'm not a financial advisor at all, because there's no such thing. I would never label that to myself when I know the fact of the matter is nobody can do any financial advising on anything and have that be correct, because of the environment and technological advancements that we've taken in banking and how we communicate, that's subject to nothing. So it doesn't even exist anymore. Anybody who's saying they're a financial advisor right now is a liar. They don't have all the information. So that's what I have to say with that. So it's really, you need to be looking in new ways than you have before, because it's your beliefs that determine your, probable future outcome financially. And I am here to help you alter that. And I've given you every tool to rewire your central nervous system so that behaviorally you change regarding your financial idea of what you are, because it is an identity. It's not even real. The money's not even real. Whatever you say you're worth and everything, doesn't even mean anything right now. That's where we're at. We're at a completely end game, zero place, and we're about to go into somewhere new. So the purpose of this, because I know the powers that be on some levels, I've been listening to this, is to change you, inside you. You can still deal with the banks. And the banks are not the entire problem. They are not to blame for everything. They've participated in, because our advancements in technology and people that have immoral, bankrupt moral aptitude have participated in making this in a situation that makes it such that you cannot win. You lose no matter what, when you participate. Now, when I said, I want to give this message to make it clear, because other people may have misunderstood or didn't understand what I said. When I said cash and carry, I'm saying until something is changed, you should be cash and carry, because it's safest for you. You do not want to get any problematic issues. Keep your receipts when you pay for things in cash. Keep those. And you cannot determine, and it's not up to you to know what's going to be happening next when they change the dollar. That is completely out of your control. But what is in your control is setting yourself up so that you have the least collateral damage and problematic issues. And by using cash only right now and getting your receipts, you don't have to deal with debt issues. You don't have to deal with electronic problems with credit cards, identity theft. It throws you out of everything. So it's safe. And right now, you want to take the least path of resistance, go cash and carry, deal with all your financial issues right now, unsecured debts, either pay them off, settle them, email me, call me if you want to deal with that, whatever. But you need to be dealing with it now, because it's what's about to occur in the next couple of months is pivotal, is much, much, much more scary than I can even describe. And it's all everybody is being kind of stroked and conditioned right now, and there's lots of misdirection being used and lots of theory and chit-chat all over the place about what's coming next. Okay, so I wanted to go into this story about why the demise of the dollar. And this came out of, written by Stephen Foley in New York from The Independent. And it says in here, dollar tumbles on report of its demise. The price of gold is surging on world markets amid fears that the old economic order based on the supremacy of the U.S. dollar could be breaking down. Notice he says could be breaking down. He doesn't want to take the position. A new spike has sent the cost of the precious metal to a level not seen before. The dollar slid shortly after yesterday's report in The Independent that the Gulf Arab states are secretly planning to stop trading oil in dollars, and a senior UN official said that the U.S. should be stripped of its position as the main source of currency reserves for other countries. The developments come on top of speculation that Obama administration is operating a policy of benign neglect of the dollar, engineering a devaluation that could help repair some of the economic damage caused by the recession. Not since the collapse of the Bretton Woods system in 1971 has the gold been treated as the equivalent of a world currency, but the Independent reported that it could be form part of a basket of currencies that could be used for oil trading by the end of the next decade. Aram Shimanian, the chief executive World Gold Council, said, "The financial and economic instability of the past 18 months has brought gold's historical role into a sharp focus and has continued to increase its prominence among policy advisors, central banks, and investors around the world. Across the world, investors have been reaching for gold as an alternative to the dollar and to other U.S. assets, fearing that the American currency is headed inexorably lower. The dollar index, which measures the greenback against other currencies, fell 0.7% yesterday, and the dollar was lower against all other major currencies except the British pound. The U.S. government's debt, which stands at I love how they make these numbers up because it's immeasurable. That we use this number here, but it's immeasurable. You can't track. There's no accounting under digital circumstances, no precision in it. So when I say this number, it's total fiction. 11.86 trillion. They're saying is what the U.S. government debt is. After-tax revenues collapsed with the recession and the Treasury spent billions on propping up the banking system would be easy to repay if the value of the dollar was lower. Economists noticed that the U.S. resisted pressure to include a promise to protect the stability of the world currencies in last weekend's communications from the International Monetary Fund, sparking growing concern that the Obama administration could be the content to see the currency fall, which is what I've been saying for a long time, that he's been brought in to end everything. Hence his whole administration and everything that he said he's not going to be able to do and has failed at, which is why he has the lowest approval rating and everybody's taking it out on him. But he stepped up for the job. He wanted to do it. He was chosen to do this. So he's the guy that's going to end everything here. So Gulf Arabs have begun planning with China, Russia, Japan, and France to move from dollar dealings for oil to a basket of currencies, including the Japanese yen and Chinese yuan, the euro, gold, and new currency plan for nations for the Gulf Cooperation Council, which includes Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait, and Qatar. Secret meetings have been held by finance ministers and central bank governors in Russia, China, Japan, and Brazil to work on the scheme, which will mean oil will no longer be priced in dollars. The revelation was met with public denials yesterday. The Saudi central bank governor Mohammed al-Jassar said, quote, "The future is in God's hands. Today, the conditions are good for the arrangement we have." The Japanese finance minister Hiroshi Fuji said, "Doesn't know anything about it." That's the quote. Dennis Gartman, the U.S. investment guru who writes the daily Gartman letter, said that no one should be surprised to hear denials. "We are certain," this is a quote, "we are certain that spokespeople from every single nation will be brought to the fore to deny that any such meetings have occurred, that no such decisions have been made, that it is not in anyone's interest to have held such meetings or made such decisions," he told clients as the Independent story broke. "The market will care not a whit," meaning denial. They don't want anybody to know about this is real because it would cause a global meltdown and everybody would panic. So everybody's going to hypotheory, speculate, maybe, I don't believe it, it's true, it's not. That's what they're going to keep running here. So this story here, it's saying one thing but saying, well, maybe not. So it's doing what they want it to do. Simon Johnson, the IMF's former chief economist, said the countries involved would calculate that it was not in their interest to drive the dollar down by eroding its position as the currency of international commodities trading and central bank reserves. It would only be great news for the U.S. The U.S. would love a little bit of devaluation, even though they can't say it. They have to pay lip service to the strong dollar policy, but if someone else's were to engineer a devaluation, that would be a lucky break for the U.S. Okay, so everybody's covering their own, basically, at the little dinner table of powers that be up on the highest echelons of banking and so forth. So for us out in Disneyland here, they have to live with some of the decisions that are made from these guys. This is what I am referring to and why the dollar has gone up. It goes up based upon your emotional reaction to it. This includes you, this listening audience, as well as the powers that be that have a higher identity stake in the digital landscape that we live in. Now, I just want to address this again so somebody make this clear. Our listener asked, does this mean not using debit cards, or is that another form of cash and carry? Debit cards are an electronic form of cash and carry. It does